So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining today. Today's webinar is on building a strong website and social media presence. This course is approved for 0.1 CEU credits. So we're super excited about that. And I'm super passionate about this topic. There's so much good like tips here that can help you build your company and move it to that next level. Just to go over some housekeeping as we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, type them into the chat box and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation during the Q&A. We also have Taylor here with us today. She's one of the project managers and she can also answer any of your questions in chat. Is your brand positioning online to attract your ideal client? Like, is it positioned to attract your ideal client? Is your brand positioned online to sell your projects for more? Is your brand positioned online to set your company apart? Your brand can do all of those things. It's so important. If you haven't really met us before, I'm Debra Scarpa from Home Designer Marketing. Next to me in the photo is Ashley Blazing. She is our operations manager. We do have a larger team of other project managers and everything from designers, copywriters, programmers, SEO specialists, social media specialists, email marketing. We help interior designers transform their brands to get found online, win their dream clients, and work smarter by streamlining their processes. This course is approved by NKBA. So if you need to report those CEU credits, you'll need the course title, the instructor, the delivery method, how many CEU credits it's for. Taylor will put that in chat for you. We'll also be emailing that out after the recording with a certificate too, if you need that to report. Today's agenda. Your ideal client searching online, like understanding that, journey that they're taking. 6 steps to building an online brand, the biggest mistakes, attracting your ideal clients, getting found online, getting paid more. All of these are so important, and we're going to go over each one of them so you really understand what to do and what not to do. Taylor is also going to put in chat a link to sign up for our free brand website and SEO audit. If you haven't taken advantage of that, that's a lot of value. I research do research on your website, on your social media pages, your Google business profile, do an SEO audit, and then talk about, we have a half-an-hour consult with each other and go through each of the items and give you some clarity and show you how you can improve that in order to, get better clients, get found online, get paid more. That's the goal. Just want you to understand, to start out with, like, your ideal client's journey, how your ideal client is, finding companies like yours online. There's several different steps. The first step is traffic. They're going to come in they're going to find your website either looking at, doing a search on Google, going to Google Maps, or doing a search on Google, finding you through, content that is below the maps, which is like SEO content, social media, maybe on Instagram, maybe they even found you just by getting a referral to you. This right here is step one. Step two is they're gonna, no matter how they find you, even if it's a referral, they're gonna come to your website to validate your company and learn more about you and what you offer. I like to think of your website as having 3 jobs. 1, generate interest. 2, build trust. 3, convert. If there's no traffic, or if the website isn't doing its job, generating interest, building trust, converting, then your ideal client is not going to get, you're not going to be able to engage with that ideal client. You're going to lose them before you have the opportunity of having a conversation with them. So the thing that I really like to point out is, even though like the order of how a client finds you, you need to have traffic, you need to have your website, and it needs to do these 3 steps. And then you need to, the goal is you sell them your services, right? The important thing to remember is you actually have to set up your website first before driving the traffic. Because if your website is not set up first and you're just driving traffic to a website that is not going to generate interest, build trust, or convert, then you're going to lose them right here, and they're going to go 1, 2, 3 and close the tab. Okay. I just like to make sure that you understand that all parts of this funnel have to be working in order to get those ideal clients. So important. Sometimes, and I like to make sure people understand that, because sometimes people come to me, they want to start out with like SEO or some other way to drive traffic, but their website is not positioned correctly to convert those ideal clients. And then they're, wasting so much money or time driving traffic when all that traffic is not converting. So it's super important that the whole funnel is working. So think about Google Maps is a great way to, for people that are looking for your services locally to find you. So think about your ideal client doing a search online. Interior designer near me could be like kitchen interior designer in a certain location. There's lots of keywords that people can use. So if they're looking in maps, which is a great way to get local business, our clients are getting business this way. So if you're thinking, well, I don't get any business online, maybe because it's not set up properly. So this is like 1. And then 2, once somebody does a search, they're going to open maps. This is super important. They're going to look at who has the the best Google reviews. So that's super important. You need to work on your Google reviews because somebody is going to look at the maps. They're going to open up all the maps section. They're going to look at who has the best reviews. And then they're going to open maybe 3 to 5 websites to look at them, review them, to decide who they want to contact. So if you don't have the reviews, or if your Google business profile isn't optimized with the right keywords, and if your website isn't positioned to generate interest, build trust, and convert, then you're not going to get them to, they're not going to contact you. They're going to contact somebody else. So think about, if somebody comes to the website, they open several, like 3 to 5 websites, they're going to decide within 3 to 10 seconds, am I interested? Am I not interested? This is the same client. This is Holly, and this is her before and her after. So like if you open up the website and your client opens it up and it looks like you're doing it as a hobby, it's not going to build the trust that's needed to take on those larger jobs. This is a couple, I'm going to show you a couple of examples so you really get the feeling of the difference. So like here's a website before. Would you trust this company? This is Linda. Or here, would you trust this company? Like, of course, you would trust this company more than this one. It's the same work. She did do a name change at the same time. But like this one looks like she's in business doing this as a hobby versus this one. She looks much more professional, has a better feel. You would trust her with a bigger project. You would assume she charges more than this company, right? You would assume that she charges more. You would assume that she can handle larger projects. Customer would be more apt to contact this company versus this company. So absolutely, like it would build, build interest, build trust, and would get somebody to convert. Those are the goals. Here's another one, just to give you some samples. So here is the before, and here is the after, right? So it doesn't matter what style, it still is building, interest, getting you interested. So you're not going to close the tab in 3 seconds, getting you to scroll down the page, getting you to look at some of the inside pages, taking the time to look further, and then building trust. Yes, this company has done it before. You can trust us with your larger project. And then getting them to convert. And convert meaning, take the next step to contact you. So if we're going to review the 6 steps to building a strong online brand. There's multiple things that have to happen in order to build that brand, that strong brand. One is brand positioning strategy. Working with somebody who is really going to do a deep dive in your business to understand what you offer. That is super important. We even find that in this industry, like designers are very creative. They're typically, not always, but typically they're not writers, and they're not good at communicating everything that they're doing for clients, even though they're providing amazing customer support and customer experience, but they're they're not communicating that in their marketing. So it's really important to work with somebody who's able to pull that out and do a deep dive into understanding what you're offering. Why should I buy from you versus somebody else? That brand positioning strategy is key to writing the copy. You do need copy on your website. Definitely, some people are not readers. They're just going to look at the visual. So the visual has to have that feeling of, I'm in love with this person. I'm in love with, their online brand. I'm in love with their work. I want to work with this person. Then there's some people that are going to skim the headlines. And then there's some people that are wanting to read all the details. You want your website to work for everybody. Also, Google, when their search engines go through your website, they cannot see the photos. All they can do is read the code in the background. So the copy is super important, to have those keywords, to have good, valuable content that Google can read and your users can read. Step 3 is logo and website design. So if the design of the logo looks, messy, unprofessional, if the website design programming looks messy and unprofessional, like the ones that I showed you, right? If you're trying to sell to high-end people, like interior design is a luxury item that you're selling. You want to sell them something that they feel like they can't do it themselves. Otherwise, why should they be hiring you? So you want your logo and website design to have that same feeling. Step 4, SEO, search engine optimization. So we don't believe it makes sense to do every single thing that is done to the website needs to be optimized for SEO, right? SEO helps your website get found. There's 2 parts to SEO. One is building it into the website from the beginning, and 2 is doing ongoing SEO. Doing ongoing SEO is super, super important. It's also important to build it into the website from the beginning. There's multiple steps in order to get found. Step 5, website programming. There's so many different things that make it so the website needs to be programmed correctly. And so everything, if it's broken, it's not going to be a good experience. If it's slow, it's not going to be a good experience. If it's, there's so many different ways that you can make that a good experience. In fact, I don't think people really realize when they go to a website, if it's programmed well. I think most likely they notice if a website is not programmed well, right? If it's loading slow, if there's problems with links or pages, then that's when it really becomes an issue. And 6 is social media. And then, like we talked about, ongoing marketing is super important too. It is very competitive online. You can't just build a website and let it sit. You need to be building a website and then working with, continually doing ongoing marketing. It's like building a storefront and then never doing any type of marketing. You want your store to be beautiful, but you also need to be doing marketing to promote it and get traffic to the store, right? Your website is no different than having a store where you need to drive traffic to that store. So let's talk about step 1. We're going to go through each of them individually and give you some tips. So step 1, brand positioning strategy. The biggest mistake I see, not doing strategy first. Absolutely, before you start doing any marketing, before you start doing your website, before you start doing SEO, you need to do strategy first. It's just like you guys going to work on a project and never sitting down with the client to ask them details about what they want. right? How is the copy going to be on target if you don't know what, you know, the designer is offering? How are you supposed to know like what services you're promoting, or how to set them apart? Like, absolutely, like that strategy work, whoever you're working with, making sure that they're really getting to know you so they can tell your story, whether it's in copy or visually in the design. Brand positioning strategy and attracting your ideal client. So position your online brand and content to attract your ideal client. Like you could see from the websites that I showed you, like a couple of them were very different from each other, right? Because their ideal clients are totally different from each other. Their work is totally different. So your brand needs to match the style of your brand, the design of your brand needs to match your work. And you know, and really help your ideal client, let them know that that brand is for them. So brand positioning strategy and helping you get found online. Position your website's copy and keywords to attract your ideal client, right? If you specialize in kitchens, for example, some keywords, you know, would be specific to doing interior design for kitchens. So understanding what you're selling and understanding your, you know, what makes you unique and really coming up with the keywords that your ideal clients might be using to search with is super important. And writing copy using those keywords is going to help you get found by those ideal clients. So brand positioning strategy and helping you get paid more. Position your online brand to build trust and tell your unique story. So like it could be, you know, the copywriting can help build more trust and tell your story and help you know, you get paid more. And even the look and feel of your whole brand can help you get paid more. Copywriting. The biggest mistake in copywriting is starting with copy focused on your own company. So think about if we were having a conversation. I like to think about as copywriting as you're having a conversation. Think about if we started a conversation and I would be like starting it like, hi, I'm Debra and I've had my business for this long and I've won lots of awards and blah, blah, blah about me, right? You would be like, wow, I'm like done having a conversation with her. She's really self-centered, right? That's the same way we want to think about your copy. If we start out the conversation and I'm asking you about your project and more details about the project, and then start talking about different solutions that, you know, are possibilities. And then, you know, I've done projects like that before, and share some information about, you know, problems that we've solved or projects that we've done. And then, oh, by the way, like this is my process and I have, you know, this is my team and this is, you know, kind of some about information to build trust after you've had the conversation about how you can help them solve the problem. If you're starting out trying to build trust when they haven't even decided or understand what you're selling, it doesn't make sense, right? It's not how you would have a conversation. Somebody needs to understand what you're selling and that you can help them solve their problem before you're talking about yourself and your business to build trust, to get them to take that next step. That's when they're already thinking that they want to buy from you. Copywriting and attracting your ideal client. So create copy that communicates who you want to work with, so your ideal client understands you specialize in helping people like them. Okay, so that's what I was talking about, is really copy that is communicating. Like if you specialize in kitchens, why should I why should I trust you? What are you going to do for me? What is your process? What is included? How can you help me? That's what I want to learn about. Think about this too. Think about if you have a client that has never done a kitchen before, you specialize in kitchens. What do you want them to know? What do you want to educate them on before they even have a conversation with you? If you're not communicating anything that you're doing, how are you expecting them to pay for your services when they're not thinking you're really offering anything? Copywriting and how it can help you get found online. So write copy that communicates to Google that your website is the best solution to deliver when your ideal client is searching online. Think about Google. I like to think about Google as like a library, where if you have the SEO keywords programmed into the website, programmed into the copy, programmed into the headlines, so Google understands what it is about, then Google is going to take that information and basically think about a library. It's going to file it in its filing cabinet. So when somebody is searching for that service, Google knows where to go get it, so it can bring it up when somebody is looking for it. Right? If Google can't read your website because there's no SEO keywords programmed into it, and Google doesn't think it's that valuable because it doesn't understand what you're offering, and then it's not going to know where to file it. And when Google goes to try to bring up, find solutions for people and goes into that card catalog to, find those pages to bring up, yours isn't going to be there if it's not programmed correctly. So hopefully that makes sense to you. It's just like a library where Google reads it, files it, somebody is searching for it, Google brings that information up because it knows where it filed it. It filed it under kitchen interior designers in your area. So then it knows to go to that spot in their, filing drawers to pull it out when somebody is looking for that solution. Copywriting, getting paid more. Position yourself as an authority with copy that communicates the value you offer when prospects are working with you. So think about communicating that value, and it happens over and over. When we're having a strategy meeting with clients, there is 100% of the time information that they're doing that is amazing that they're not communicating. So really communicating that can help you get paid more. Copywriting in your unique story. So think about, you know, really helping your ideal clients understand your services, your unique value. Like, why are your services better than somebody else? That if they're an ideal client, why they're a good fit, the size of a project, the project investment, the design style, social proof. Social proof can be, you know, Google reviews. It could be photos that you've done it before. It could be videos. There's a lot of different, it could be that you're in an association. It could be you've been published. It could be you won awards. There's a lot of different ways to, you know, build that trust. You and your business, you know, maybe because of your background, you have some unique story, and that's why you're so good at what you do. Maybe it's your education. There's so many different you know, journeys people go on. Maybe it's the locations you serve. You know, people need to know all this information in order for them to feel comfortable in using you for their project. Think about when they're hiring you, they're not just trusting you like in, you know, if you think about the amount of the investment for the full project versus, you know, how much they're paying you, they're actually trusting you in the whole project, because most of the time you guys are in charge of the whole project. And if it's a big project, they're trusting in you that that project is going to turn out well. So think about that. That's how much trust you really need to build. 3, logo and website design. It's super important. Both of these items are. So the biggest mistake, having a brand and design that doesn't reflect the quality of your work. I want them, when they're interacting with your brand, your website, your logo, whatever it is, any part of your marketing, I want them to have the same feeling as if they were standing in one of the rooms that you just designed, that you just finished. I want them to have that same feeling. If your overall like brand and online brand and website and logo look like you're doing business, like you're in this, doing it as a hobby, if it looks like messy, if it looks like kind of clip art, if it's overpowering your work, maybe the colors, the layout, it's not reflecting, you know, we want it to show off your work. Think about it as like a piece of art with a frame. You don't want the frame to be screaming at you, right? It's going to be competing for attention. We want the frame to be showing off the art. That's the same way we want to think about like your marketing and your work. We want the marketing, the logo, the website, and everything to be the same kind of feel, showing off your work, not competing with it. Your logo and your website and how it can help you attract your ideal client. Create a website design or Instagram page that gives prospects the same emotional response or gut feeling that your work does. This is super important. So if you like just take away one thing from this whole webinar, this would be it. Because when people buy from you, it's an emotional experience. Think about when you're going shopping for something and you find something and you are just so in love with it. You're like, wow, I am in love with it. I want this no matter what. That's what you want people to feel like when they interact with your online brand. So when they go to your website or Instagram page, like I want them to be able to scroll down each of those and feel like, wow, I am in love with this person. I want to work with them. I don't care how much it costs. It's the same kind of emotional response you have when you go shopping and you find something you're totally in love with and you're just like, wow, I'm in love with this. I want it. I don't really care how much it costs because I want it that bad. That's how you want them to feel about it. Logo and website design, how it can help you get found. Design a website that grabs your ideal client's interest and encourages them to take that next step. So it needs to grab their interest so they, look further, scroll down, look at the other pages, learn about your company, how you can help them, engages them, and then helps them take that next step. Logo and website design and how it can help you get paid more. Create a professional brand that builds trust and positions your business as an authority. Right? If you remember the photos that I had, the pictures that I had of the before and afters, and which ones are going to build trust and, position them as authorities versus ones that looks like they're in business doing this as a hobby, right? If you're a client, who are you going to, if you're working with one company, the one that's after, you're going to really respect them more and treat them more as an authority versus the one that looks more like they're doing it as a hobby. So think about, if you were a prospect online, like, would you hire this business or this business? Right? I just want you to see it from your ideal client's perspective, or this one, like the one on the left or the one on the right. They're all the same work, the same companies. Or this one, here versus here. And just think about, even like when you go to a restaurant, if you're searching for a restaurant online and you go to the website and the photos of the food, like, don't look high quality and the website looks unorganized and messy, you already are like, think about your gut feeling and how you feel about that company before you've even been there. Like, you haven't even been there and tried the food, but maybe you're not even going to want to go there because of the feeling that you have. Step 4, SEO. Some of the biggest mistakes for SEO: not programming your keywords correctly into your website. That is a big one. When people come to me and they've just finished building a website, they're like, oh, I just finished and now I want to do SEO. I'm like, oh man, like, we're going to have to reprogram the whole site. Like, it's so much more expensive to have to go back through and add the keywords in afterwards. Like, it just adds to the cost. It just doesn't make sense. So really thinking about like doing it right, doing that strategy so you can pick the SEO keywords, writing the copy so you can add the SEO keywords to the copy, then programming the keywords into the website, into everything, the copy, the images, everything. That is the first step to SEO. Then you know, doing SEO ongoing is also super important. Like the difference in the results that you get, you know, you get a little bit of a bump from programming them in at the beginning. It still is important because otherwise you have to reprogram the whole site. The real boost for SEO comes from doing it monthly. Not having a Google business profile. If you don't have a Google business profile and it's not optimized for those SEO keywords, you're not going to show up in the Google Maps. You can't get Google reviews. So that is super important. Not having enough Google reviews. Go and see, like, look at interior designer near me or in your location, the locations you want to work in. Look at your competition, see how many Google reviews they have and where you need to be to compete. You need to have, like, you need to be in the top 3 to 5 like companies, ideally the top 3 for Google reviews in your area. Depends on how competitive it is. SEO and helping you attract your ideal client. Program your website and optimize your content using keywords that are going to attract your ideal client. So, like, for example, there's a lot of different keywords. Interior design is only one of them. There's so many more. You really do need an SEO tool to really do like a deeper dive, but there's so many different keywords that you can be targeting and trying to rank for that are going to help you attract your ideal clients. SEO and helping you get found online. Optimize your Google business profile with content, photos, keywords, and reviews that will attract your ideal client. Marketing changes all the time. Google business, like, profiles didn't used to be as important as they are. You know, it used to be people would get reviews on other platforms. Absolutely, right now, Google business, like, Google reviews are the most important. So your Google business profile is super important. How SEO can help you get paid more. Implement a monthly SEO strategy to significantly increase lead sales, projects, and revenue. I know a lot of people come to me and they think that just, you know, building the SEO keywords into the website, you know, they can just do that and then leave it and not do anything else. It's too competitive online. That might work if you're in an area where it's not very competitive, but in most areas it's very competitive, and you're going to need to be doing ongoing SEO consistently in order to really pick up momentum. We absolutely see our clients that are working with us monthly for SEO are getting like so many more results than the clients that are not. So there's a huge difference. Here's just some results. So, like, for example, here's somebody that you know, we did the initial boost, right? They're down here, but they're not doing like monthly SEO, without monthly SEO. Here is a client who is doing like monthly SEO. Like the numbers are significantly higher here versus here, right? So, and here. But again, it depends on the SEO results, depend on the area you're in, you know, how competitive it is, how long you've been in, you know, you've been doing SEO is a factor. There is a lot of different factors. I'm just pointing out the top ones. How, you know, how much content, how often, you know, are you doing it every month? Are you doing it once a quarter? You know, that is going to make a big difference too. At least, you know, if possible, monthly. You know, if you need to start out, then do it quarterly and then work to monthly. We think that every single time we touch a client's website or do anything to a website, we need to be optimizing it for SEO. It doesn't make sense to make any changes without optimizing it for SEO. Step 5, website programming. So some of the biggest mistakes, having a website that is hard to navigate and doesn't have an engaging call to action. So, you know, it needs to be a good user experience. People have a super short attention span. Like, you know, that they just come to the website, you know, you have seconds to get them interested. So, I'm a creative. I like to be creative. The way that your navigation is on your website is not the way to be creative. People go, you know, to a certain location to look for that navigation and or to look for call to actions. And if they aren't there, you might lose that opportunity. Website programming and attracting your ideal client. Program your website to create a positive user experience that builds trust with your ideal client. So if you have broken links, if you have, you know, like unsecure, like up by the URL, if there's a little icon that says that it's like unsecure, or if you have like broken pages, or, you know, all of that can be like a negative user experience, and you might not get the opportunity to have a conversation with that client. Website programming and getting found. Program your website to work on mobile that loads quickly and is hosted on a secure platform. So there's definitely like making sure that it works on mobile. That has been super important for years. If like, hopefully everybody's website is working on mobile. Like, it needs to work on mobile. It needs to load quickly because people have short attention spans, you know, maybe 3 seconds and then they're gone. Hosted on a secure platform. Absolutely. Like, if you get like your website compromised, for one, it's expensive to get it fixed. 2 is Google is going to block your website, you know, for a while. It's going to be hard to build trust with Google again to get your website ranking well. It can be a big problem. Website programming and helping you get paid more. Make it easy for someone to have a conversation with you by integrating an online calendar into your website. I'm a huge fan of online calendars. Absolutely. Like, if anybody makes an appointment with me, they're making it through our online calendars. Think about your prospects. They might be looking for a solution in the evenings, on the weekends, when you're not available. If your competition has an online calendar and you don't, they might make an appointment with them and get a hold of them like first versus you. There's tons of studies that say if you're the first one to have a conversation with your prospect, you have a much higher percentage chance of that person working with you versus somebody else. So, and you just might not even have the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody if you're going back and forth trying to set up an appointment, where they can set up an appointment like with an online calendar with somebody else. Social media, step 6. So some of the biggest mistakes: not using blocks of time to create content and social media scheduling software to make posts. So if you're thinking you need to be on social media every day, it's not efficient. So creating like blocks of time to create content, social media scheduling software to make posts can definitely help like save time. How it can help attract your ideal client. Create content that communicates your value and grabs their attention when scrolling. Use well-crafted project videos, eye-catching graphics, and photos. It really needs to like think about, like, if I'm on an Instagram page and I'm your ideal client, I want to be scrolling down and be like, wow, this is beautiful. This is exactly what I want. I want them to have an emotional response of, I want to work with them. I am so in love with them. I want to work with them. If they're scrolling down and they're like, there's ugly graphics and the photos don't look good, they're going to be like, oh, and have this like negative experience. Think about that emotional response they're going to have when they scroll down. Social media and attract your ideal client. Use before and after project images. That can be really helpful telling your story. You do have to be careful about using the before pictures, just to make sure that you know, that you don't want them to scroll down and be looking at the before pictures, or it's going to give them a negative experience. Post blog content trends and finished projects can also help attract your ideal client. Getting found online. Use relevant hashtags that your ideal clients are using to search with in social media. Stay in front of your audience often with consistent posts, stories, reels. How social media can help you get paid more. Use a professional photographer and high quality graphics. I can't emphasize that enough. Like, you don't need to take photos of every single project, but you do need professional photos to give that feeling of high quality that is so important. Step 6. To building a strong online, like 6 steps to building an online brand. We went over these before. I just wanted to bring this up one more time. You know, 1 is the brand positioning strategy, 2, copywriting, 3, logo and website design, 4, SEO, 5, website programming, and 6, social media. And then always like think about doing ongoing marketing, driving traffic, staying visible, doing things consistently. It used to be you could, you know, set up your marketing and kind of walk away. It's too competitive online. You have to do more than that. Thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with me. I know we went over a lot of content. Again, I'm Debra Scarpa from Home Designer Marketing. And if you haven't already, you can sign up for our audit. I know Taylor will put it in chat there. The homedesignermarketing.com/audit. You can sign up there. And let's see. I will just right now spend. If anybody has any questions, Darcy, feel free to pop in. I don't know why, but my chat window is not coming up. So if you have any questions, feel free to jump in.
Hey, Deborah. Well, Melissa had asked a question earlier, but I think she had to get off. But she did ask, are there benefits to keeping the SEO keywords generic, like, for example, interior design, or would you recommend localizing the keywords, i.e. like interior design in city?
Yeah, absolutely need to do all
That's
of the above. Yep.
I said both.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. You definitely need to do both. Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah. But I think that was it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us, Darcy, and everybody else. And I hope this information was helpful. All right. Have a great day.